welcome to episode 2 of the Why So Blue podcast. I'm Shohan.
I'm Erica.
I'm Jerad.
Jordan.
I'm Wes.
And I'm Bron.
We've got a few new topics to talk about this week. First off, everybody has their own opinion about the new Ghostbusters reboot trailer. So
Looks great.
I think it looks pretty good. I'm hopeful. Bron is shaking his head right now, so I'll let him start.
I'll go last. No, I'm the voice of reason.
Okay.
I'll go first. No, I'd like to go last. First. I would like to.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool. It was fun. Like, somebody made a fan edit of the trailer, which was way better. It was way more fun because the original trailer was just kind of, it was a lot like the Jurassic World trailer with this ominous nostalgia, and it's
only in the beginning though.
Yeah, but it set the tone.
It's like 5 seconds of the trailer.
It set the tone in a weird
way.
The
30 years ago when they have the little doo 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 doo.
I liked that. I got goosebumps.
I like that part.
You like that part?
Yeah, I like that part.
Well, I think because I was watching the movie Ghostbusters the other night because my wife hates the new movie and she felt she needed to cleanse her palate after watching the trailer.
Wow, God.
Exactly. And it occurred to me, like, the concept of Ghostbusters, like the story concept is kind of blah and kind of lame. There's not really anything to it. It's the actors that kind of make the whole movie and their interactions between each other. And I think we've got a good enough cast to pull that off. Thoughts? What do you guys think?
I'm really excited to see Kate McKinnon's character. Because, comedically in the trailer, she was hitting it in all the right spots, like with the wig. And like when she licks the gun, that's so hilarious.
Which is the best poster, too.
Yeah.
There's like a character poster.
Yeah, I don't think there were quite enough jokes in the trailer. But,
I was going to say I was actually satisfied with the lack of jokes. And I mean, because there were still some jokes. Yeah. But the original Ghostbusters movies weren't like a joke a minute. There was other stuff. There was like a bit more drama and like suspense at times.
I guess so.
And I didn't want to see a trailer that was just like, this is going to be the laugh riot of the summer or whatever. And it's like, that's not, I don't want it to be that, I do want it to be funny, but I want it to be rounded.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably going to be their biggest hurdle because I was really trying hard to think of like a really good comedy sequel that I've seen.
22 Jump Street?
22 Jump Street.
It is.
I haven't seen it. I'll take your word for it. But other than 22 Jump Street, I couldn't think of anything.
A good comedy sequel.
Because like The Hangover was terrible. The sequel. What else was terrible?
Austin Powers.
Like it got consecutive.
It's a good sequel.
Was it a good sequel?
It's okay sequel. Yeah, it's not bad.
For a comedy sequel, it exceeded.
Goldfinger was the worst though.
Yeah.
But I mean, are you considering then this Ghostbusters film as a sequel to like the originals? Because I feel like that's almost not.
I feel like technically speaking, because they're kind of play homages to the other one, they're gonna have to like cover,
since it's like a spiritual successor.
Yeah,
the
basically.
original.
So they're gonna have to. Go ahead, Brian.
Lay down some wisdom.
I did not. It's not wisdom. It's opinion. I mean, I liked almost nothing about the trailer.
How?
The very beginning with the nice little tones. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was really looking forward to the all-female cast. I was even kind of looking forward to Paul Feig being the director, and I liked the casting. Seemed fine. But as soon as like the jokes started, and it looked like just another terrible Melissa McCarthy nonsense movie. It dropped me out of it so fast. Even the very first joke that they do with the ghost vomiting on Kristen Wiig's character, I was like, no, don't do it. Why? Like the easy setup, easy payoff, lowest common denominator joking, and then like Kate McKinnon is like the only redeeming factor.
Yeah,
and I agree there. Like the wackiness of her character and like the sticking out and the wig part, like those things are really cool, but it just doesn't redeem it for me. The Leslie Jones's character looks atrocious to me. She looks like a terrible black stereotype where like Winston in the original movie wasn't that at all. It didn't need to be. Didn't need to have one.
Stereotype.
But he wasn't like, I'm gonna slap the devil out of you.
That's
like
true.
he wasn't.
She like
Well, part of it too is she's not even a scientist.
Yeah,
I was
just
like,
a person.
what's happening there?
And
Question mark.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
That I kind of understand. Like there are these three scientists who are potentially like socially awkward, and they need a person who can bridge that gap to make them appealing to the public. If that's part of the movie, I don't know what it is, but that could make sense.
But then why not have her in like a different professional role?
Sure.
Here are all these women who are in these professional scientist roles. Why isn't she in one?
I agree.
I was like, what's going on? I didn't really like that either. I
totally
agree with you.
I compared it to Rick Moranis before, where he comes from like nothing. He's this goofy slob, and he gets to put on the suit and the power pack and like save the day. Yeah. And that's awesome. That's a great moment.
Same thing.
And it just doesn't, I mean, this trailer is not representative of the entire movie, but having that moment was amazing for Rick Moranis. If she had that same kind of like, I'm the outsider, the outsider, and then, you don't expect me to come in and be able to do something, and then you do. That'd be cool too.
Yeah.
In the trailer's defense, you know nothing about that character. We're all just making assumptions about that character.
Sure.
I mean, it could be like the same scenarios like he did with Spy. It was like, oh, here's a character who nobody believes in, but they can absolutely do it, and they're just as smart as everyone else. Like, who knows what her background is.
And maybe Paul Feig makes terrible trailers, because this trailer for Spy I thought was really bad. And Spy turned out to be... Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, it's the people who cut the trailers together. And that fan trailer I thought was much more effective. It played on the nostalgia more by having the actual Ghostbusters theme song. And then it shifts into the new one with all the bassy, dubby-steppy stuff. But and it chops the trailer up into just a couple jokes here and there, and there's the one joke that works in the trailer, the two that work in the trailer, the one with the wig, which I think is funny, and then the let's go, when they both say it at the same time. I think that's really good. That's the kind of comedy that works for these awkward scientist characters, is like, oh, we don't know how to work in the real world.
Well, there's the other part too, when she slaps her and says oh, the devil be a liar, it just does not stick.
It doesn't, no.
And it's
doesn't.
way
Once
too
again,
long.
it
You're drawing
does.
it way out.
Yeah.
That moment doesn't work, but how many times do you think they shot that one scene? There were probably 5 different jokes for that. And that scene they could switch it out before the film release.
Sure.
I mean, they should, because that's a played out joke and it's not funny.
Yeah.
But
like in the Deadpool trailer, when Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller are going back and forth with each other, I saw 3 different trailers and 3 different jokes for that scene, and they used 2 jokes.
Yep.
And I heard there was 50 different jokes.
Yeah. That would have been fun to watch.
Yeah. I hope it'll be on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, there you go. Amazing. I have a question about the Ghostbusters trailer, what you guys think about it, because I've heard a lot of negative criticism, but I feel like they have this kind of armor, because the response to the criticism has been that, oh, people are smashing us because it's a woman cast. And that's not true at all. People are looking at it analytically and discussing things that they genuinely don't like about the trailer.
Yeah.
But they have this catch-all save that's oh, you just don't like it because it's women. And I feel like that's such a cop-out. And not at all true.
Yeah. I mean, there are those people that genuinely hate it because it's women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
The same people who thought Mad Max was an anti-male women power fantasy.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. The way I think about it is because there's so much hype, there's so much buzz about it being an all-female cast. It's naturally going to get a lot of people talking. So I think it's just a certain amount, and there's always going to be people who are going to say that it's negative. And I also think at some points it is kind of a cop-out. Oh, it's just because we are a female cast, but at the same time, that is also what they're up against. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's a double-edged sword, really.
And I imagine, regardless of the gender of the people playing the characters, trying to redo this movie could have come under similar criticism.
Yeah.
Just because it's beloved.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is this sacred thing that you don't touch, and then here you go messing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably getting more because oh well, these women can't do what the men did or whatever back in the 80s. It's a weird objection to lobby at a film.
That's what I felt.
It seems very strange.
Yeah.
Right.
I was ready to be it doesn't matter, this stuff.
Yeah,
as long as
absolutely.
the stuff
the
that
thought
looks
never even
good.
crossed my mind that it would matter.
Exactly. I was excited for it. It's an interesting take.
Yeah. I liked the trailer. I was a little critical though of the music at the beginning. I'm with Shohan on that.
Yeah.
I really wanted that excitement, that like nostalgia. Like I really wanted that, and it was very mellow and kind of leading you in.
It was like melancholy.
Yeah. I was like, it's almost like funeral music.
Yeah. Well, they're putting to bed the initial.
Right. And you're so like excited, like because you're interested. Like people who see this trailer are so interested. They're ready to watch it. And I feel like that emphasis and that energy, it would have been really good if it was there. It would have been played off that. And it wasn't there for me.
Do you feel like the trailer teased you? Like it was a teaser trailer almost?
Not a good one.
It sounds like people don't want more.
I don't mind being teased every once in a while, but it simultaneously didn't do enough and did too much.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It did a little too much because I'm like, a teaser trailer? Like, I instantly wanted have a million questions. I didn't have a million questions.
That's a good way of putting it.
For a teaser, it had an awful lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
In the teaser, it told you.
They could have just shown Ghostbusters symbol, power pack, and then the back of 3 or 4 women.
And the little
and
keynote
awesome.
music.
That looks great.
That
Give me the
They could have
music.
just shown that joke where, like you said, the two of them were saying, "Okay, let's go."
Yeah.
And it would have been good.
Yeah.
It would have been
I like
can't
that.
wait.
That's a teaser.
If you think back to the Star Wars teaser and how little you knew and how excited you were,
Right.
but you knew nothing. You're just
I was way more excited before I watched this trailer.
I'm
now
I still want to watch it.
it.
I'm still excited. Just wanted a little more oomph.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, they've got another shot to listen to the internet and be like, okay, maybe we should come at it from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of movies and studios have been doing that lately.
Yeah. Snakes on a Plane was a good example of that. They listen to the internet because people said this movie sounds ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The movie titled Snakes on a Plane has to be the most ridiculous thing ever, and it was supposed to come out with this PG-13 rating, and it was going to be this bland nothing movie. And they went back and reshot a bunch of stuff because the internet got all behind it. And they're like, you need to have the famous line from it with Samuel L. Jackson, and they put that in the movie because of the internet.
That's amazing.
It can happen. You can your voice can be heard, and you can make changes. Even though Snakes on a Plane didn't end up being
What happened to that director?
I'm not sure.
Oh, he's dead.
We're gonna put that to bed.
I thought someone else who might have known that.
No.
He's super dead.
He's super dead?
Yeah, he's absolutely dead.
You have his ashes somewhere.
Snakes on a Plane. DVD case.
So you can take advice from the internet, but you might die.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
Well, there's also in X-Men 3, when, what's his name, that English guy who played the Juggernaut for no reason.
Oh, Vinnie Jones?
Vinnie Jones, thank you. When he says, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," that's from an internet parody.
Yeah.
A parody video of the cartoon, and they went back and refilmed that after that video blew up online.
Couldn't save X-Men.
Wasn't enough. Fair try.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still hopeful. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm not super excited as other movies coming out this year, but I think it has a chance to be something worthwhile.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all going to be in line opening night, right? So it's even if the teaser bombs, they're still going to pull box office numbers, and then we'll all be able to talk about it at length and discuss whether we were right or not.
I'll be ready to write my dissenting opinion negative review.
I liked all of Paul Feig's films though, and I feel like all his films have had horrible trailers, from Bridesmaids to The Heat, and I like The Heat a lot. I know a lot of people don't, but that had a horrible trailer. Spy had a horrible trailer. I thought that's one of my favorite films of last year. So even if the next trailer is just as bland as one might think, I feel like it's still gonna be a great film. I don't think there's anyone more qualified to direct a remake of Ghostbusters. He's proven that he has great a great sense of comedy, obviously, and he knows how to shoot action well. So
Ivan Reitman probably could have directed a good Ghostbusters.
Did he do Draft Day?
Yeah, but
nope.
I mean, you can give him
maybe he's burning on Draft Day too.
Also, to be fair, it's difficult to have a comedy trailer because you don't want to give away all your jokes, and you need to make sure that people are going to come for something other than the comedy. So there's got to be action in there as well if it's a comedy action type movie like this one is. So maybe in Paul Feig's defense, for all of his trailers, like you don't want to give away everything at up front, but you still need to make it interesting somehow. And for me, this one didn't do it. And The Heat and Spy and even Bridesmaids, those trailers didn't really. I was like, what are these? These look terrible. Yeah. But I liked Spy and I love Bridesmaids. So
I thought the ghosts looked amazing in the trailer. The large ghost on like
felt like they still fit the aesthetic of
I still think it's going to be a good movie. Like
it might be.
I definitely, especially when I think about Bridesmaids, I did not want to see that movie. I was like, that's going to be so dumb. That's going to be cliche. Yeah, and then I saw it and I thought it was the most incredible thing that has ever happened, and I loved it. And I am really excited. Like I was still very happy watching the trailer, but I wasn't as excited as I wanted to be.
How'd you guys feel about Slimer?
Great.
You were into that?
Yeah.
I kind of wish they hadn't shown
that. I was thinking that was kind of an ace in the hole that you could have.
That should have been like a sweet little Easter egg in the movie itself.
That's,
Like it would have been cool if we like heard him gurgle scream off in the distance. Because we all know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather the film hide the cameos.
Yeah.
Than hide Slimer.
Yeah.
So show Slimer, as opposed to like showing like Bill Murray.
They could tease Slimer. They could have like the camera whip pan toward a wall, and there's like the ectoplasm left in the remnants,
so cool.
and you're like, oh, that must have been Slimer. Like that would have been kind of cool.
Are they going to come out with the ecto coolers again?
I hope so.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I would
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I loved ecto coolers.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
I heard
it's good trade material then.
That I was just a rumor, but when they were originally like creating the different ghosts and designing the ghosts, that Slimer was like supposed to be the ghost of John Candy.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of cool.
That's funny.
So speaking of things that gave way too much away, Batman versus Superman is coming out in about 2.5 weeks. Despite the short film that has been released, they literally released like 12 minutes of footage for a 2.5-hour movie. Like that may not seem like a lot, but that's almost a plot. And so I mean, I'm still excited. I'm gonna be wearing my cape and shirt when I go see it. But
you got a Superman shirt right now.
I was gonna ask which cape and shirt.
Well, this shirt and a cape. So, what do you guys think? Like, are there things that you're hoping to see? Like, what do you want to see in this movie that we haven't already seen in the short film that is Batman versus Superman?
Flash.
Yeah.
I've seen enough personally. I don't
Aquaman.
I'm with Erica.
Erica,
I've seen enough. I'm not excited.
You're not into it enough.
No, I agree. I think for, like you were saying, the amount of footage that they've already released and like so much you can extrapolate from that, it doesn't. Like I'm still excited to go see it, but there's nothing I'm looking forward to in it at this point because I feel like I've kind of already seen it. You know?
I mean.
That most recent trailer with Batman beating up the dudes, that was way better than what they had done previously.
I try not to watch that, so I'll take your word.
Yeah, it starts off with Batman just beating up some guys. I'm like, hey, that's like a Batman movie. That's kind of
That's
cool.
what Batman does.
Yeah, exactly.
You see like the bullet deflect off his helmet.
It's fun.
Really?
Like that's
feels very Batman.
Yeah, and like that was kind of like, okay, there might be some cool action in this movie. But all the other trailers are just like talk, blah blah blah, and it's boring and or worse than boring. Just it gives away too much, or it doesn't hold interest, and these people playing these characters are not interesting to me.
I agree.
I mean, the Flash
is awesome.
No. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Ben Affleck is awesome, not as Batfleck. I mean, I can't say that. I can't say that until I've seen it. But when that original casting came out, I was very dismayed.
Yeah, I mean, the internet exploded when they.
I was among that explosion. Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be Batman for a little while. They're gonna make a Batman movie with him.
I feel like if you played Superman, you cannot be Batman. Personally, that's just me.
I mean, it's technicality, but
he has such like that.
And no one remembers Hollywoodland.
That's true.
I
think about that for a second when you said that.
but people remember Daredevil.
Yeah.
They
And
That
not
was
fondly.
his fault.
Not
That was his fault.
by their own will. They remember Daredevil.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's a really similar character. Like, Daredevil, the comic character,
Yeah.
I
was
don't think
largely
he has
connected
a
to
broken
Batman.
persona well enough. Like, he doesn't have a broken persona.
I
I
had
think
a-
Batman kind of needs that.
Yeah.
Really hard time when he delivers the line, "I'm getting too old for this, Alfred." Like, he's just
said
got
that?
that silver
Yeah.
streak.
Yeah.
He says that. He
Besides
says
that
Silver
doesn't make me
Streak, he
feel
doesn't
good.
look
Yeah.
that
And it
old,
just-
like,
No, he says, I'm slowing down my old age. He didn't
Oh,
say
I'm
I'm
sorry.
getting too
Oh,
old.
thank God. I was about to cry. Murtaugh, what the hell?
And Lex was another casting that I really like. I saw that and was so dumbfounded. Like, who is this kid playing Lex? Why is this happening?
I
I'm
was
like,
so
I
there.
love Jesse
I was so
Eisenberg. I think he's
as a
great.
character, fine, but as Lex Luthor,
No,
like,
no.
you know,
Yeah.
I
I
love that
agree.
casting. It's unexpected.
Should have been.
I'd rather have Jesse Eisenberg than like a Bryan Cranston that people
Unexpected.
were rooting for.
Bryan
Like an obvious choice
Cranston.
like that.
Yeah, that would have been pretty obvious. Yeah.
He'll probably be better than Kevin Spacey was as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but that was a terrible movie. I didn't know it's like,
I agree.
It's better than X-Men 3.
Let's not get into what's better as far as comic book movies go.
Terrible.
We know where
We've been
that.
down that dark path.
Ron might have to edit it.
Yeah, we know where that conversation goes.
but like, I mean, one thing I really like about Affleck in this movie is, granted, like he's not showing the brokenness, but this is 40-year-old Batman. Like, he's had a couple decades to sit with like his parents being dead, and now he's just an old.
Oh, so this is Batman after therapy. That's
What?
This is Batman after therapy? That's what you're telling me?
No, this is Batman with no therapy and just getting madder and madder and becoming more embittered with the whole world because nothing's changed. And he just looks so pissed off. And I just love the look in his eyes. And he just looks like the angry guy on the corner just screaming at nothing, but he's got like billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So that I'm looking forward to.
I love the character design that they're going with.
Yeah.
The very Frank Miller style and just like
Right.
bulked up, you know, Bruce or Batman.
He's going to be the biggest Batman we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I love the shot when he's looking at the bat suit and it looks like it's screaming back at him. Like, that's a really cool, composed shot, and it tells you who Batman is in that moment. But I just don't buy Ben Affleck's anger at the world.
I
Like,
fully
I
agree with
agree.
you. I fully agree.
Yep.
like he could be less interested
Angry or
in all
broken,
of these problems.
neither
Like,
are Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Ben
I didn't see him
Affleck.
being angry. As Jennifer Garner, I'm sure. I'm sure she'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's angry."
Might ask Jennifer Lopez.
There you go.
That's
do
it.
that.
I think Ben Affleck is great casting for Bruce Wayne. Just like George Clooney, I think could have been a good Bruce Wayne. If Bruce Wayne never has to be Batman, that's
Right.
totally fine.
Agreed.
But Bruce Wayne has to become Batman at some point, and Batman is not Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But
But that's a
Which is why-
tightrope too. I mean, that's a very difficult demand of one actor is to actually play two characters.
Absolutely.
Which is why Val Kilmer is the best Batman.
Oh, Jordan. Oh, Jordan.
what if they just brought him back in his current weight, just as Batman?
And
Yeah.
you wanted to see him older in age. So
Yeah.
this is what happens.
I saw it must have been like SNL or some internet video. Like somebody, like these people were able to convince him to do this like parody of Batman, sort of. But he put on like the original Batman Forever cowl. It really didn't fit. Like it barely gets over his cheeks. It's sticking out over his neck. And it's like, dude, take it off now.
That's awesome. Imagine that guy busting into a bank robbery. And like, fear me. And they're like, no, I won't.
He's just all out of breath.
So who would you replace Ben Affleck with if you could? Nick Nolte, obviously. Like he sounds a lot like that alcoholic Bruce Wayne. Batmobile just crashes into all these pedestrians. Batman Coke! Like, we don't have Batman sizes here, sir.
I was listening to another podcast. I think it was a Kevin Smith podcast, and he had a guest on. It was Mark Bernardin, who happens to be a black guy, and he suggested if in like a parallel dimension where it would even be possible, like Idris Elba.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's awesome. I would definitely back that.
I watched.
Yeah.
I mean, it would never happen, but it would be pretty.
He's too street.
He's too street.
That's what they say about Idris Elba.
But he could be the charming Bruce Wayne, and he could be the big, scary 6'2" black man.
I think that's a good call. I'd put Idris Elba as Batman.
I would watch
any
that.
day.
Sure. That'd be pretty amazing.
I wouldn't make the movie. To answer your question,
So you just don't like the entire concept?
I don't. Not at all. I didn't like Man of Steel. I
didn't like Man of Steel, but I do like the concept that Batman has a contingency plan for everybody, even if they're posing as a hero. There was a great comic, Tower of Babel, where he took out the entire Justice League, and it was awesome.
I've heard the theory too that like Robin is Batman's own contingency plan for himself.
Leave it to Batman and be like, he's got layers upon layers. And so, I like that as a premise. I think that could work. And for DC, they need to capitalize on Batman in every way they can. Like, if we can't sell Superman alone, throw some Batman in there and people will go,
Pretty much, I'm curious to see how they handle Wonder Woman, because she's got her own movie coming next. And if they just throw her in there as like a token lady, it could get weird.
Well, judging by the trailer, that's what she looked like, and that was really irritating.
Yeah, really
that
shows
was
up out
so
of nowhere,
irritating.
according to the trailer.
I think that's how the movie will go too.
There's that scene in the most recent trailer where she's in regular people clothes,
Diana.
and she introduces herself as like, oh, I'm a formidable person. I'm paraphrasing.
I'm wondrous. Wink.
This is what happens when you do Kegels.
I'm not attached to it.
But yeah, there's I've heard like there's a bunch of other things that we still haven't seen, and as far as Doomsday goes, I've heard that that's actually not Doomsday. I heard a rumor.
It's just
I
blackface.
hope so much. That was when I saw that, I was so dismayed. That's such a flat character for such a potentially big movie. Like, you're gonna pick that as a villain. Obviously Lex is a villain, but Doomsday is that just looked like crap. I was not into it at all. But if somehow that's just a twist or a red herring to throw you off scent, that's cool. I'm into that.
So you say you don't like the idea of Batman versus Superman. What if they would have stuck with George Miller directing it, like he was supposed to do in like 2009?
They just made a Man of Steel 2.
Well, he was gonna do.
The original Justice League.
Yeah, wasn't he like?
Yeah, with Armie Hammer.
Yeah, Armie Hammer, but what if he was doing like Batman versus Superman?
I love Mad Max, so if he made it like that, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If you have.
So if it were a different director, then.
Zack Snyder's not.
So it sounds like Zack Snyder's like 75% of the issue here.
In the casting and the trailer and the direction.
So we have almost a pitch right here. We cast Idris Elba, get George Miller to direct it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
I'll call their agents right now.
It's getting warm. We're getting there.
Yeah. It's a part of it for sure. I liked the trailers seemed to indicate that the movie is almost like a reaction to Man of Steel, like,
pretty much, yeah.
And that's nice. I like that little wrinkle of everybody thought it was ridiculous that Superman killed this guy in Man of Steel, and everything was he was too powerful. And then this movie's first trailers start off with, this guy's too powerful, he needs to be controlled. And I was like, that's a cool little thing. Mm-hmm. Don't show us much more, and then they just show so much
Here's
more.
Everything else.
Yeah, and they haven't revealed, like, the Flash hasn't been shown. I've seen the poster for Aquaman that barely shows anything.
Yeah.
They haven't shown Cyborg at all. Like, these people are supposed to be in this universe at some point. So it's nice that they're still holding a bunch of stuff back. But as far as the basic story and the dramatic launching points, the trailer really just kind of throws it all at you and doesn't make it seem super interesting.
I think it looks fun.
I thought it was unfortunate that they cast a different Flash than the very successful TV series that people have already identified with that character.
But Warner Brothers nonsense, like everything. Who else? Like, they're probably going to recast Arrow and everybody that's gone through the whole Flash TV show, because I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing that. I guess they want to have two separate universes.
Just like the comic books. They got Earth 1 and Earth 2.
Yeah, but I hear it's supposed to be Barry.
Oh, really?
In the movie.
Barry Allen?
Yeah. So I don't know if they could do that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm so excited. see what else we got.
You know, get Ron Reynolds for a Green Lantern. Be amazing.
Okay, so let's talk about some Blu-rays and home releases. Jerad, you just reviewed The Graduate. How's that?
Amazing.
It was amazing?
So, yeah, it was Criterion Collection redid The Graduate, and it still holds up. I remember seeing it a couple years ago, and it's still just like a timeless American classic. It's pretty amazing.
Was that the first time you saw it a couple years ago?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
I kept hearing about it, and I kept putting it off because I was like, I don't know. It's a movie from the 60s, and it looks really, like, intellectual. And I was a much younger man at the time, and I'd much rather watch heavy metal than The Graduate. Wow. So if that puts you in any kind of headspace as to where I was.
Glad you came around.
Yeah. Erica watched it with me, though.
Have you seen it before, Erica?
Yeah, I've seen it before. I really like it. The cinematography and it's just so timeless and just amazing. I was actually telling Jordan about some of the extras that were in this one a few days ago. We were talking about it and why they cast Dustin Hoffman and how like his insecurity on screen is actually from his insecurity of being Benjamin Braddock, which was really cool. And I thought it was like really beautiful because he's not like the mainstream like handsome man, but he's like offbeat handsome, and like they said, you know, he had like this very like distinctive weird walk, and like he's short and he's Jewish and he looks it and he's dark and he's not blonde and like Aryan. And so
like a trailer. He's short. He's
kind of amazing. Like he's kind of great because the director had said something to him rather like he was like, I don't know if I could be this character, and he's like, well, you are Benjamin Braddock. Like, I know you don't feel this way because of the way he's described in the book. He's like, but what if he's you on the inside? And he just kind of was like, what? And it's just because he's such like this outsider from his community, from like this WASP community that he's in. He already feels like inadequate and not wanting to be there, and sees it for like the fakeness that it is. So it was really, really interesting just to hear all these people talk, and even Dennis Hoffman was in the extra too, and it was like really, really good just to hear him speak about his experience. It was just really cool. Kind of like how it was like this really like love-hate relationship, because it was one of his, was it his first movie?
It was his second movie. It was the first movie that he was podcast.
Yeah. And he was really, really nervous all the time, and so he was never sure if he was pleasing the director or not. So every day he was going in like, oh my god, did we do it right? Maybe we didn't do it right. Like talking to Catherine about it as they're like acting, I don't know what he wants. Like they were just always on eggshells. And it actually works really, really well, I think, for the movie of just like not being settled with yourself.
Yeah. This is awkward young person outside of his element.
And that's exactly what he was on film, like on set, I mean. So it was really cool. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I love The Graduate. It's one of my favorite movies.
Isn't it?
I want to check out all the stuff on the Blu-ray. That sounds great.
Oh, you'll love it. It was so good. Yeah.
I've never seen the movie.
You gotta watch it.
You have to see it.
Did you bring it back?
I'll
well, not gonna watch that tonight.
One of the things I love about Blu-ray, especially with like more vintage films, is how much they can clean it up. Did you guys notice, since both of you had seen it previously?
It looked a lot better.
Really?
It was very nice, very crisp.
Noticeable.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the Blu-ray edition yet, but that sounds like maybe I should.
Yeah, it's very amazing, especially because there's so many nuanced shots in that movie that it just looks even better in Blu-ray.
Now, do you feel like it took away from like that old 60s, 70s style at all?
Not at all, because their Criterion keeps really true to like the color and the feel of the film, so it retains kind of its vintage feel. It just looks crisper and nicer. Cool.
I worry about that sometimes.
Does it have the Barbara Walters filter? Movies of that era typically have.
Oh my god. So I haven't reviewed it yet, but coming out in June, first time on Blu-ray is the Roots series, and by Roots I don't mean the band. I mean the legendary miniseries from the 70s that chronicles the familial saga of a West African slave taken to America, and it just follows him as he grows up, tries to escape, finds a wife, and it just follows. Alex Haley did a whole bunch of research research on his own family's family tree, and I'm when I saw it, I was blown away at how he was able to get so many detailed records from like hundreds of years ago, and it even breaks down the cultural things that were lost when slaves came to America. Because at one scene, a spoiler alert, one scene when Kunta Kinte has his baby, he raises the baby over his head, and I think he says, "Dizzy, behold the only greatest thing greater than yourself." And I think Dizzy is an African god, and just little things like that throughout the movie. LeVar Burton, O.J. Simpson makes an appearance. You see him run.
Perfectly cast.
On a white pony, he just takes off.
But yeah, it's. I mean, unfortunately, it's one of those. It's told specifically from the perspective of the slave and those around him, so it's somewhat one-sided, but it's told from. It's almost like a video memoir of a family, from when that family was created in this country and ripped from its roots, hence the name, and progressing on through the generations. It's a groundbreaking film. Like, I'll talk to people twice my age who saw it when it's a mini series that came out on TV, and I'll talk to black people, white people, whatever race, and it's like it affects them almost in a similar way. Like, everybody just it opens their mind, and it just exposes them to things that they just didn't know about and understand, and it's a groundbreaking thing that everybody should see. All ages. I mean, there's some pretty graphic scenes here, but it's important. It's American history.
When does that come out?
That comes out in June.
Okay.
June.
I had to watch Roots in school actually, so it was like
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, required material.
Nice.
That is cool.
That's awesome.
It's really progressive.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
It's pretty great. It's kind of long, but if you can
it's worth
watch
it.
it in increments, it's pretty incredible.
I'll finally be able to understand all those Dave Chappelle references.
Speaking of O.J. Simpson, a good comedy sequel, Naked Gun, 33 and the Third, The Final Insult. It's a good comedy sequel.
And Naked Gun 2.5 is good too.
Yeah, that's good as well.
You have a thing about thirds. Like, it's always the third movie of a franchise.
Yeah. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It's a good comedy sequel.
That's pretty good.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Father of the Bride Part 2. It's a good comedy sequel. It is.
Oh, Pee-wee. We were just talking about it before we
Yeah.
started
Big
recording.
Top Pee-wee.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Of course.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I was like obsessed with it as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, everything was Pee-wee for some reason. And just that movie. Not even the show or anything. It was just that movie.
Just Big Top Pee-wee?
Yep.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time too.
Yeah.
Jordan and I are having the opportunity to go to South by Southwest in a couple weeks, or in a week, and we're going to see the world premiere of Pee-wee's something.
Yeah.
Big holiday. Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
He's jerking off shit.
So you can expect our exclusive, first look on at White So Blue when we talk about Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
That's awesome.
That's
Can't
really
wait.
exciting.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Any other?
A very Brady sequel. It's a good comedy
That's
sequel.
actually that's
That
good.
was-
That's
yeah,
good.
I love those movies.
Okay, that was
Gremlins
good.
2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say
Gremlins
Gremlins
2
2 might be a little bit better than Gremlins.
It's got the weird meta
Oh,
film going
yeah.
to it where they make fun of the Gremlins universe and
Hot Shots Part 2.
I don't know about that.
Whatever. That's so
Goes
funny.
West.
Bibles Goes West.
Yeah.
I
There you
loved
go.
that.
Yeah,
That was
it's
cool.
like it's on the cusp of being comedy, but that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good call. I think it's funny. It's
Wayne's World 2.
yeah, that's true.
I could never, in my mind, I could never discern the two movies. Like, I feel like there's so many similar
They just
scenes.
bleed into each other.
Exactly.
That's kind of like Mike Myers, all of Mike Myers.
Yeah.
I think one of the best comedy sequels, Addams Family Values.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
thinking of that
Yes.
too, yeah.
That's a-
Why didn't you say it?
Because I forgot.
I was thinking about him just now.
It's more memorable to me than the original.
Yeah, it is.
One of the best
Yeah.
Thanksgiving movies ever.
That's probably true. Wednesday Addams is so good in that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was everybody, every guy's 12-year-old crush.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
come on.
Without a
Are you
doubt.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Shohan's having flashbacks.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta call my wife. Honey, I love you. You'll always be my Wednesday. Get the wig outside.
I was actually like a couple months ago. It popped up in our Netflix, and I was watching the first one. It really holds up. Like it doesn't feel dated at all. It's like friggin' Raul Julia, a lost treasure of a man.
Yeah.
He just every time he comes on screen, it just lights up everything. And I'm not a Broadway guy by any means. I don't really like musicals, but that hearing him sing his lines, because sometimes he's like actually sing-songing his lines. It's everything's great. It's awesome.
He's
Christopher Lloyd.
It's so good.
You heard about him on Street Fighter, how he was like dying, he was in so much pain,
right?
And he still gave an amazing performance in that movie.
He did. He really did.
He'll be in horrible movies, but he won't be horrible in them.
Yeah.
And that's why we love him.
It's called integrity.
Somebody asked him why he was in that Street Fighter movie, and he said, "Well, my kids like the video game, so I'm up there." Yeah, he was pretty great, despite Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Despite everything about
That's still a good movie.
Still a good movie.
It's still stupid. Whatever.
Any new insights on The Kid, Bron?
Nothing new. You can read my review on whysoblu.com. I really enjoyed The Kid. I hadn't seen it before. Jordan spoke about it a little bit last time on our podcast. And the Criterion is excellent. There's a plethora of special features, a commentary on the movie.
It's a good commentary.
It's a good commentary. Yeah, a lot of insight there. The interviews with some of the cast and people who were around during the making of the film, particularly the interview with the person who played the kid, is really good. He talks about his relationship with Charlie Chaplin during the time of making the movie, and he makes Charlie Chaplin seem like just the most amazing sweetheart of a man, and he played that character. Like Charlie Chaplin was this misunderstood tramp, and he's just a sweetheart at heart, and that it comes through in the when people talk about him. The film itself is short; it's 53 minutes long, but there's like a couple scenes in there. The basis of the movie is Charlie Chaplin finds a kid that a woman abandoned, and he kind of tries to raise it as his own. And it's really just like a series of gag shots from that point on. Like Charlie Chaplin's thinking, okay, well, what can this? And they talk about this in the commentary and in the special features. Like he just made the whole film up as they were shooting it. So he's probably thinking like, okay, well, what could play well here? How about the kid and I go and run this like sham window business? So the kid throws rocks through windows, and Charlie Chaplin goes and sells the new windows to the people. And like it's these like silly little scenes, but they're really touching, and they progress the story of his connection with this child. There's a scene of the child's mother who doesn't know who the child is. She's sitting on this stoop, and the kid walks out right behind her as she's cradling this other person's baby. And she's looking at the baby like, I wish I hadn't given up my child. And then her kid appears right behind her, and it's just like melts you.
Wow.
And it's a silent film, so like they're not saying anything, and the music doesn't even like cue it up. It's just kind of there, but just the image of the kid walking in from behind her, and her looking down at this kid as if like, I wish I could find my son again, is so good.
Wow.
It's definitely worth checking out. The Criterion Blu-ray is really incredible. The film is from 1921, and it could have been shot last year. Like it looks perfect, and it doesn't like Jerad was saying about The Graduate. It's still black and white. Like it's still, the colors are overly saturated here and undersaturated here because they're shooting on these old cameras, but it's crisp. Nice. It looks brand new, and it's whatever they did was incredible. They put a lot of work into this. Everybody should have it. It's something that you can bring out and show to kids or adults or people on their deathbeds. It's great because it's funny and it touches really well on those. There's that touching moment, and then one beat later there's a comedy scene. Like Charlie Chaplin is a brilliant mind, and everything he touched should be viewed and treasured.
The scene that makes me laugh the most is when the kid wants him to kiss like the stuffed like bear or something, and he's so disgusted by it, but he kisses it anyway, and his reaction is so funny. And he's so good at making really dark subjects hilarious, like abandoning a kid
Yeah.
in an alleyway.
Yeah,
it's a hilarious moment of Chaplin just trying to get rid of this kid.
Yeah. he stumbles upon it and he's like, I don't want this thing. I'm just pretty much a homeless guy. And like, I can't take care of a kid. And he's trying to pass it off on other people. And they're like, no, man, like, this isn't my kid. And he's like, well, all right. It's a good time. Yeah, it's all done through the gesture. Like, it's just Charlie Chaplin going like, raising his eyebrows or his shoulders or throwing his hand the right way, and you get all of the emotion of this character, what he's going through, and it's just an amazing performer.
It definitely sounds worthwhile. Like, even if you're not a fan of Charlie Chaplin, you could.
How could you not be a fan?
I can understand people not liking silent films because they have a weird. Yeah. They're weird, and they're old or whatever. But this, I don't know. I haven't really found a bad silent film, but. Because people had to, they had to show emotion through their facial expressions, through their actions, and it requires such a different skill set than just being able to talk and make sound. I don't know. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Cool, man. Yeah, so check out Bron's review on whysoblu.com. Check out Jared's review on Why So Blue. Wes, you were telling me about some comics you're reviewing.
Yeah, hopefully posting this week will be a review of Old Man Logan, which is being put out by Marvel, written by Jeff Lemire.
Now you're reviewing the new version, right?
Right, because Mark Millar back in 2008, I want to say, wrote the original Old Man Logan, which for anybody that hasn't read it, I highly recommend it. Great. It's fantastic. And at the time, I thought it was out of continuity, just sort of an island of a book, which is fun that comics can do that, just like tell a one-off story. Yeah. And that's what I thought it was. What they've done is looped it back in, so that same Old Man Logan has joined our continuity in Marvel Comics. Okay. So now he's been written by Jeff Lemire, and this is the reboot. It's currently 3 issues in. As I said, my review will be out, so I'll have a lot more to say about it, but in a nutshell, it's great. I really like it. One amazing thing about it is that it's coming out on time, and that's like so rare in comics, but like it's very regular, and that's great. And the premise is very simple, and it's kind of getting to Logan at the essence of Wolverine, where he's a lone wolf, he's doing things by himself, he's angry, he's got a vendetta, and it's violent, and the artwork's fantastic. So it's kind of firing on all cylinders for that character in a way that I haven't seen Logan represented in Marvel in a little while.
So is this a direct sequel to the early 2000s one that came out, or?
In a manner speaking, Marvel did Secret Wars recently.
Okay.
And in that
Which broke the dimension.
Exactly. Okay. It took a lot of disparate characters from various timelines and parallel universes and just brought everything together, and that's how Logan falls in. So it is kind of a sequel. It's just an odd explanation of how he got there. So yeah, I think it's a great, lot of fun read. Probably not for kids, but it's a good book.
Probably not for kids.
Oh, I mean, it's still a Marvel book, so they can't go too far with it. But as far as Marvel books go, I mean, it's Wolverine being Wolverine. He doesn't tickle. Like it's
it's under the Marvel imprint, and not like Marvel Max or.
Yeah, no, it's just a straight Marvel book. Yeah, and then also speaking of Marvel, they've started another cross-title series called Standoff. It's really new, so I don't have too much to say about it, but it's basically S.H.I.E.L.D. with a secret prison where things go wrong. And I don't know, I'm not terribly excited about it, only because Secret Wars, which just recently ended, really didn't leave a great taste in my mouth. It was, I thought, a failure. I'm sure people have different opinions, but it didn't really work for me at all. And it was a huge cross-title event, so you had to spend a lot of money to follow it and buy a lot of books for something that didn't really work. And then immediately following that, they're starting another one. Now, this won't be on the same scale as Secret Wars. This is mostly having to do with Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. And, so it's not going to be cross all titles, but still, for them to launch right into another one, I was like not quite ready for that yet. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Going back to that Old Man Logan, there have been rumors or talks about the next solo Wolverine movie being based on Old Man Logan. Yeah. Do you know if it would be the newest one that's like currently going, or would it be most likely the?
To the best of my knowledge, that's still just a rumor.
Yeah.
And if it were true, which I think would be fun, I would hope that they would do the original one, because that story was really fantastic. Not nothing wrong with Jeff Lemire's story, but the original stands on its own, and the Jeff Lemire story does depend on some background.
It's going to be interesting if they try to pull off the original one, because Marvel doesn't own all of those characters that were in the original one.
It's true, yeah.
Because
it's
like Spider-Man plays a big figure in that. Well, I guess. Oh wait, that's Fox. I'm so confused. But yeah, all the characters are all over the place, and it's so intertwining of all the different, books. So.
Yeah, in that original Old Man Logan, you had Red Skull, Mysterio, Hawkeye, Hulk.
Exactly.
It was an ensemble.
Spoiler alert: Hulk was a redneck, so
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. We were talking earlier about Joseph Gordon-Levitt
And Sandman.
Sandman.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. I was hoping to talk about that. So for people that haven't heard, Joseph Gordon-Levitt has decided to separate himself from the Sandman adaptation project because he doesn't feel that they're doing the original source material justice. This is...
To give a little backstory, he's been working on this thing for almost 10 years? Maybe? Yeah. And he was producing, he was, I think he might have been directing, like a little bit of writing, like he was the driving force behind this thing. And he was going to star, and now he's just out. So that's got to say something about the direction, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, from my perspective, that's not an adaptation that needed to be made in the first place. Mm-hmm. Sandman stands as one of the greatest comics ever written, and it's huge. It's an epic. It's a saga, and it doesn't, I wouldn't think, translate well to film. There's just a lot of complexities, and yeah, I mean, some of the characters are very... It's hard to wrap your head around reading it. I've read it so many times, and like every time I read it, I find more things within it before. And the way that Neil Gaiman builds, he plants seeds in the very beginning that don't pay off until the very end, and it's genius. It's a masterpiece, and that's got to be difficult to translate. So,
so you think maybe they were just watering it down too much?
I just don't see how you could fit it all on film. It's too big.
It's too much.
Yeah.
I'd heard when The Dark Tower was first getting rights to be put on screen, that Ron Howard was attached, and he was talking about doing sort of he would start with a movie and then do a miniseries, then a movie, movie, so you could kind of expand on the universe a little bit and tell more of the story. Do you think that might have worked?
I think there are ways that it could possibly be done justice. My only objective to that is, does it really need to happen in the first place? Like, if this book is already so fantastic, just read it, and then you have all these very, straightforward, simple action, comedy comics, whatever they are, that would work perfectly on a screen. I mean, it would play very well. Like we just saw with Deadpool. Like that was such a great adaptation because everything you needed was there, all the material. Yeah. So why you would go digging into something like Sandman, it just doesn't seem necessary.
And Sandman's like weird. Like it gets really out there and really into dream and how it's not based in reality for most of them.
Yeah.
And that could be said about most comic book stuff because there's no superheroes, but this stuff is like really weird.
Yeah.
And it'd be hard to market to a large audience. It's obviously very difficult to film if it's taken so long and it's not working out for the people who are working on it, but it's a hard thing to capture correctly without changing so much that you're trying to appeal to a huge audience.
Right.
And Sandman could be read by a huge audience, but it's not necessarily going to be understood by a huge audience. It's I don't know. It's a difficult thing to turn into a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand their objective, like from the beginning, was that since it is one of the greatest comics, why not make one of the greatest adaptations? Like I get where they were coming from in taking something so good and wanting to use that and share it and like get a bigger audience for it and expose people to it. But yeah. If that was their idea, I kind of disagree from the concept and all the way through till now. And now hearing that people are backing out of it, yeah, I mean, I don't.
Now, when you say weird, do you mean like it gets really existential?
And
philosophical?
Yeah. So, I mean, the core character is Dream, and he's one of an endless pantheon. It's him and his siblings are Dream, Desire, Destiny, Destruction, Delirium, Despair,
and Death.
And Death is his sister.
Death is like the best character.
Standout character, really standout character.
It's adorable.
Wednesday Addams.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. And I mean, they live forever, and they have their realms. Like Dream lives in the dreaming. It's not a real place, and like these are all very difficult concepts to capture on film, and
it's difficult to even discuss it.
Yeah, it is
to try to make it make sense without seeing what's going on behind, like in the book.
Yeah, because you were just saying this character Dream exists in his own reality.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a kingdom called the Dreaming that when you fall asleep at night, you go to his world.
Okay.
And he's the lord of it, and like that's
it gets really bizarre. Like
there's
even like one story where he's dating a star. Like,
Yeah.
and, like it gets really
not like a
there.
celebrity.
No.
I assume.
Like a celestial body.
I didn't think he was hooking
But,
up with
like-
Kardashian.
Even the problems that arise are so like bizarre and metaphysical, and then their solutions are even stranger
Yeah.
that you would never ever in a million years think about. And the beauty of having it written in front of you is you have time to like digest
Digest it.
how
Yeah.
all this like reflects on the human experience.
Process.
And,
And
like,
as I mentioned, like reading it again is really helpful.
yeah,
Because then you know what to look for, and you can see all the intricacies, and it really is a great book. I would recommend that anybody read it. I don't know if I said that right, but I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times.
Great.
I have copies. I'll lend them.
You have the whole like 10 set.
Oh, yeah,
Do you have the new ones, the hardbacks?
No, I don't. But
Those
they're
look-
gorgeous.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, they're so
They're
nice.
so cool.
Yeah. It's the Blu-ray of comics.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because in a visual medium, you want to show the story rather than tell the story.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is something that needs to be cognitized rather than just
Yeah.
consumed through your eyes.
I mean, even within the comic series, the artists change on a regular basis, which is usually a negative for a comic book. It's jarring. It throws the reader off, but this works perfectly because dreams are different, and each one can be different, and it's never quite solid. It's always very fluid, and this is probably the only comic I've read where it actually works, that it constantly looks different, but that might not work in a film again. So.
And there are some cameos from characters who had adaptations. John Constantine makes an appearance. There's currently a Fox show called Lucifer, and that's based on a comic book and Lucifer is in the Sandman universe as well. Yeah.
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Is in-
It's Martian Man.
You get these people that have this crossover appeal, but in the Sandman book, you're like, well, what is going like?
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, that's what John Constantine does in his own stuff. That's Hellblazer, and then here he is in the Sandman book getting all weird, and you're like, well, okay, all right, well, like, it's hard to explain.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe not.
And I mean, so neither does Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he's put
Yeah.
like a bunch of time and energy into it, so that's not
It's been
inspiring.
this passion project.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah, usually when people walk away from something that's that important to them, it's become totally
It's not working.
not good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do Premium Rush 2.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt will be fine. I
I
don't
think he'll
know.
survive.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about his prospects. The alternative is to make something that like what Preacher looks like, and if you're like, okay, let's go into this, make a thing that went through all these different developments, and lots of people want to put their hands on it, and then what Preacher looks like, just in the production stills I've seen, and you said you saw a trailer or something like that. It doesn't look anything like the
No, it doesn't.
It ruins the whole feel of every character, and you're like, why would you want to do that to something that's so beloved?
Yeah, again, Preacher is another one of those top 10 greatest comics of all time. It's fantastic, amazing. Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon.
But I think you could do that. I think you could.
It could be done right. But yeah, I mean, it would need to be a really long series, very in depth. Not in a movie. But I think they're doing a TV series anyway.
It's an AMC series.
But the casting looks all off, and just from what's available now, it doesn't look like they're even approaching the plot of Preacher.
It's too bad.
So yeah, I mean, for such a beloved property that people really do cherish and hold dear, to be done dirty, it's unfortunate, because you can't undo that. It's like once it's done, it's done. And if people have that concept of that's what Preacher is or that's what Sandman is, and it's garbage, then they'll never have the true, the value of the original source material and how amazing that stuff is.
Though we can hope for second chances. Spawn is going to come back as a movie franchise.
Fair point.
And perhaps after all this time, we can get something that's not atrocious.
Yeah, fair point. I just, if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
In the first place, And I think that the comic adaptation movie audience
shaking his head.
should do it wrong in the first place.
I like that movie.
Have you seen it like recently?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Really doesn't hold up.
It's
Effects aren't great. It's fun.
John Leguizamo was almost fine in it.
Yeah,
that's the only redeeming quality of John Leguizamo's performance.
Didn't even give it like 4 stars?
Everything else is kind of cringy.
But what I was saying is that, like, I think the comic audience, the comic adaptation audience, is getting really fine-tuned, and also the creators are. And so with every iteration, it's being done better and better. And so, like, you hope to see that trend continue. And when you see things like the trailer for Preacher, and I haven't seen it yet. Like, maybe it's going to be amazing.
We get to see the first episode at South by Southwest.
There you go. Can't wait to hear about it. Yeah.
We'll write about it. Well talk about it.
Yeah, we'll do a little
live blog about it.
Well, yeah, you can find us on LiveJournal.
Live.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, we should just start calling when somebody makes a terrible adaptation of a great thing. We should just call it pulling a gym. Just
pulling a gym.
A gym and a hologram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to happen anymore. Like, we're past that, or we should be, and we're getting there. And it's like, it's such a shame when you see really good properties get.
Well, particularly with like Gem and the Holograms, it felt so much like they already had a script, and then they owned this other thing, this franchise. And they're like, let's just make sandwich, take this crappy script, and then just put Gem and the Holograms.
Hey, we got this
on top
sweet
of it.
logo, and
Yeah,
put it right there, and
has
you're good
nothing
to
to do with either of them. But
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, but like,
we'll get it right someday.
Yeah.
No,
there was
Fit
more
and try.
before, and like, it seems like more recently there have been some really big successes, and like, whenever every time there is a huge success, I think all the creators see that and see what made it work. And use that to make better movies in the future, and they're also finding their audience.
Yeah.
Right on. Does anybody else have any topics? Any reviews? Oh, we want to shout out our buddy Aaron, who's also a White So Blue writer and contributor. Jordan, if you could remind me the name of this podcast.
Out Now with Aaron and Abe.
Out Now with Aaron and Abe.
If you haven't listened to that, it's on iTunes.
Yeah.
There's a link to it on Why So Blue's main page too. It's got a little side.
Oh, nice. Yeah, check out his podcast. He might make a guest appearance on our podcast from time to time.
It's been around since 2011, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So check it out. It covers some of the similar topics as we do, but other stuff is not overlapping. So you'll still be able to enjoy both.
You get our sweet voices on this.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, check him out. It's pretty great.
It's a great podcast.
And you can find all of us on whysobblue.com. We're all contributors here. I'm Shohan.
I'm Erica.
I'm Jerad.
Jordan.
Wes
and Bron.
Have a great day. This has been episode 2.